The missing children case, the FBI refused to explain. In 1998, 3 children vanished from the same small town within 10 days. No witnesses, no struggle, no bodies. The FBI arrived, sealed off the area, and quietly took over the case. But then something strange happened. Evidence began to disappear. Reports were classified. And within weeks the investigation was abruptly shut down, without explanation. Years later, a former agent broke his silence, claiming the truth wasn't just hidden. It was buried on purpose. And what he described didn't make sense, unless someone had been watching those children long before they vanished. Subscribe to uncover the truth behind cases they tried to erase. The town of Blackridge didn't look like a place where children disappeared. It was the kind of place people moved to when they wanted quiet. Tree-lined streets, modest houses, neighbors who knew each other by name. The kind of place where kids rode their bikes until sunset, and parents didn't worry if they came home a little late. That illusion shattered on October 3rd, 1998. 10-year-old Emily Dawson left her house at 6:40 p.m. to walk 2 blocks to her friend's place. She never arrived. Her mother reported her missing by 8:15. At first, local police treated it like a routine case. Maybe she got lost. Maybe she stayed over somewhere without telling anyone. But as the hours passed, something felt off. There were no calls, no sightings, no trace of her anywhere along the short route she was supposed to take. Officer Daniel Reeves was one of the first on the scene. He walked the path himself that night, flashlight in hand, scanning the sidewalks, the bushes, the narrow alley between 2 houses. Nothing. No drop backpack, no signs of struggle, not even footprints that didn't belong. It's like she just stopped existing, Reeves muttered under his breath. By midnight, the entire neighborhood was awake. Porch lights on, people walking in small groups, calling Emily's name into the dark. The air had turned cold, carrying that early autumn bite, and with it came something else, unease. At 2:10 a.m., a search volunteer found Emily's shoe. Just one. It was lying near the edge of a wooded area behind a row of houses, placed almost too neatly to be accidental. There were no marks around it, no signs she had been dragged, no second shoe nearby. Detective Laura Bennett arrived shortly after. She crouched down, studying it in silence. "Bag it," she said finally. "You think it means something?" Reeves asked. Bennett didn't answer right away. Her eyes scanned the tree line, dark, dense, silent. "It means," she said slowly, "someone wants us to know she was here." The search intensified at first light. Dogs were brought in, helicopters scanned the forest, volunteers combed every inch of the area. But the deeper they looked, the less sense it made. The dogs picked up Emily's scent near the shoe and then lost it completely, as if it had simply vanished into thin air. By the second day, the case reached state level. By the third, everything changed. Another child disappeared. 8-year-old Marcus Hill. Broad daylight, a playground. Witnesses everywhere. And still, no one saw anything. One moment, he was climbing the slide. The next, gone. Parents pulled their children inside. Schools shut down early. Panic spread faster than facts. 2 disappearances, no suspects, no explanation. And then, on the 10th day, it happened again. A third child. Same pattern, same silence. That's when the FBI arrived. Unmarked vehicles rolled into Blackridge before sunrise. Agents moved quickly, quietly, setting up a command center at the edge of town. Locals were told as little as possible. Agent Michael Turner led the operation. Mid-40s, sharp, controlled, the kind of man who didn't waste words. He reviewed the files in silence, flipping through photos, timelines, witness statements. 3 children. No connection. No evidence, no noise. He looked up at Detective Bennett. "Tell me something," he said. "In all 3 cases, did anyone report anything unusual before they disappeared?" Bennett hesitated. "There was one thing," she admitted. Turner leaned forward slightly. "What kind of thing?" She glanced at Reeves, then back at Turner. "All 3 kids told their parents someone was watching them." The room went silent. Turner didn't react immediately. He just stared at the files in front of him, his expression tightening almost imperceptibly. "Did anyone follow up on that?" "We thought it was nothing," Bennett said quietly. "Kids imagine things." Turner closed the folder slowly. "Kids don't all imagine the same thing," he said. Outside, the wind moved through the trees at the edge of Blackridge, low and restless. And somewhere beyond that tree line, something had already taken 3 children without leaving a trace. The FBI wasted no time. By noon, Blackridge no longer felt like a quiet town. It felt like a controlled zone. Roads were monitored, search grids expanded, and every resident within a 2-mile radius was questioned. Agent Turner moved through it all with cold precision, but something about the case didn't sit right with him. 3 children, 3 different locations. No witnesses, no noise. That wasn't just unusual. It was wrong. Inside the temporary command center, a large map of Blackridge covered the main wall. Red markers pinpointed the last known locations of each child. Turner stood in front of it, arms crossed, studying the pattern. Emily, residential street. Marcus, public playground. 3rd child, Anna Reyes, walking home from school. Different places, different times. But when Turner drew a line between the 3 points, they formed something disturbingly precise. A triangle. "Coincidence?" Reeves asked, standing behind him. Turner didn't answer. He circled the center of the triangle with a pen. "What's there?" he asked. Reeves leaned closer. His face shifted slightly. "Nothing," he said. "Just forest. Old land. Nobody really goes there." Turner nodded slowly. "Then that's exactly where we're going." By late afternoon, a search team moved into the center zone. The forest there felt different. Denser. Quieter. The kind of quiet that made people lower their voices without realizing it. Even the dogs hesitated, pacing nervously before moving forward. About 30 minutes in, one of the agents called out, "Over here!" Turner pushed through the brush, stepping into a small clearing. The ground looked disturbed, subtly, but enough to notice if you were looking for it. "What did you find?" he asked. The agent pointed to the dirt. Footprints, small ones. 3 sets. Turner crouched down, studying them carefully. The size matched children. The spacing suggested they had been walking, not running. "Where do they lead?" The agent swallowed. "They don't." Turner looked up. "They stop. Right here. No drag marks, no deeper impressions, no signs of struggle. Just 3 sets of footprints, ending in the middle of an empty clearing." Reeves shook his head. "That's not possible." Turner didn't respond immediately. His gaze scanned the surrounding trees, slow and deliberate. "Get this entire area photographed," he said, "and I want soil samples from every inch." Back at the command center, the atmosphere had shifted. This was no longer just a missing persons case. Forensics came back with nothing useful, No foreign fibers. No unusual chemical traces. Just soil, leaves, and the faintest traces of the children's DNA. It was as if they had simply ceased to exist. But then something else surfaced. One of the agents had been reviewing local records, old complaints, archived reports, anything unusual tied to the area. He found something buried deep in the files. A report from 1988, 10 years earlier. Turner read it in silence. 3 children. Missing. Same area. Same pattern. The case had been closed within weeks. No suspects. No explanation. His jaw tightened. "Why wasn't this flagged?" he asked sharply. The room fell quiet. "It never made it into the main system," the analyst said. "It was archived locally, almost like it was overlooked." Turner looked back at the map. Every 10 years, 3 children, same place. He felt something cold settle in his chest. "This isn't random," he said quietly. "This is a cycle." That night, Turner reviewed the interview transcripts again. One detail stood out more than the others now. All 3 children had said someone was watching them. But one statement, from Anna Reyes, had been dismissed at the time. Turner read it again, slower this time. He wasn't standing on the ground, and he was just there, between the trees. Turner leaned back in his chair, eyes fixed on the page. Between the trees. Not behind. Not in front. Between. Outside, the forest surrounding Blackridge stood still in the darkness. No wind, no sound. And deep within it, at the exact center of that triangle, there was a clearing where footprints ended. And something had taken 3 children without ever needing to leave. By morning, the forest had changed. Not visibly, at least not to anyone who didn't know where to look. But to Agent Turner, something felt off. The air was heavier, the silence deeper. Even the search teams moved differently now, more cautious, more alert. Because now they knew this wasn't just a disappearance. It was a pattern. Turner ordered a full forensic sweep of the clearing where the footprints ended. This time, no assumptions. Every inch was documented, scanned, measured. Ground-penetrating radar was brought in. At first, it showed nothing unusual. Then the technician adjusted the depth. A faint anomaly appeared beneath the surface. Irregular, layered, unnatural. "Zoom in," Turner said. The image sharpened. Something was buried there. By midday, a small excavation team began digging, carefully at first, then faster, as the soil grew looser. The deeper they went, the more the atmosphere shifted. No one spoke. The sound of shovels cutting into earth echoed unnaturally loud. Then, "Stop!" One of the agents froze, pointing down. A piece of fabric had emerged from the dirt. Faded, torn, child-sized. Turner stepped forward slowly. "Keep going," he said. They uncovered more. Clothing, old, decayed. And then bones, small, fragile, human. The clearing was sealed off immediately. Forensics confirmed it within the hour. Remains of multiple children, buried in shallow, overlapping layers. Not recent. Some of them dated back years. Decades, maybe. Reeves stepped back, visibly shaken. This isn't just our case." Turner didn't reply. He was staring at the ground, at the way the layers were arranged. They weren't random. They were organized. Almost intentional. Back at the command center, tension reached a breaking point. "This changes everything," Bennett said. "We're not looking for a kidnapper. We're looking for a serial offender. Someone who's been doing this for years. Decades. Turner corrected quietly. But how? Reeves snapped. No one sees anything, no one hears anything, no evidence, no vehicles, no suspects. Nothing. Turner looked at him, expression cold. Except there is something. He held up the report from 1988. Same pattern, same location, same number of victims. Bennett's voice dropped. You think it's the same person? Turner hesitated. That's the problem, he said. I don't think it is. Silence filled the room. People don't operate like this for 10, 20 years without making a mistake, Turner continued. They escalate, they change patterns, they get sloppy. He tapped the file. This hasn't changed at all. Reeves frowned. So what are you saying? Turner didn't answer immediately, because the answer didn't make sense. That evening, another piece of evidence surfaced. One of the technicians had enhanced audio from a home security system near the playground where Marcus disappeared. At first, it was just background noise, wind, distant voices, the usual. But when isolated, there was something else. A low-frequency hum, constant, mechanical but uneven, almost like interference. And beneath it, a voice, not clear, not fully human, but repeating something over and over. Turner listened to the clip in silence. Play it again. The analyst hesitated, then pressed the button. The sound filled the room, distorted, hollow, wrong. Reeves felt a chill run down his spine. What the hell is that? Turner leaned closer to the speaker. The voice became clearer for just a second. Just enough to understand one phrase. Still watching? No one spoke, because suddenly the case wasn't just about what had happened. It was about what was still happening. That night, Turner returned to the clearing alone. No team, no lights, just a flashlight, and the quiet weight of something he couldn't explain. He stood at the center, exactly where the footprints had ended. The air felt colder here. Still. Wrong. He slowly turned, scanning the trees, and for a moment, just a fraction of a second, he thought he saw something. Not behind the trees, not in front of them, but between them. Turner froze. The light trembled slightly in his hand. There was nothing there, but the feeling remained that something had been watching him the entire time. Turner didn't report what he saw, not because he wasn't sure, but because he was. And that was worse. By sunrise, the investigation had shifted from a missing persons case to something far more controlled. Federal oversight increased. Access to certain findings was suddenly restricted. Reports were flagged, sections redacted before they were even fully written. Bennett noticed it first. "Why are half our files locked?" she asked, standing over one of the terminals. The analyst hesitated. "Orders from above. Some of the evidence is being classified." "Classified?" Reeves snapped. "We have dead kids buried in the ground and now we're hiding paperwork?" Turner stepped in before it escalated. "Focus on what we still have access to," he said calmly. "We don't stop because someone higher up is nervous." But even he could feel it now. Something was being contained. That afternoon, Turner requested a full psychological reconstruction based on all known data. Patterns, timing, behavior, environmental factors, everything. Hayes worked in silence for hours. When he finally spoke, his tone had changed. "This isn't about abduction," he said slowly. "At least not in the traditional sense." Turner looked up. "Explain." Hayes pointed at the map. "The children aren't being taken from random points. They're being drawn." Reeves frowned. Drawn where? Hayes tapped the center of the triangle. There. Turner felt the same cold weight settle in his chest again. Why would they go there willingly? Hayes didn't answer immediately. Instead, he pulled out the statements from the children again, the ones mentioning someone watching them. What if it wasn't just watching? He said quietly. What if it was interacting? The room went still. That evening, a decision was made. They would test it. A controlled setup was arranged at the clearing. Cameras were placed in a full perimeter. Thermal, night vision, motion sensors. Audio equipment was calibrated to pick up frequencies beyond normal human hearing. Turner insisted on staying. If something is happening here, he said, I want to see it myself. Bennett and Reeves stayed with him. No one said it out loud, but all three of them felt the same thing. They were about to cross a line. By 11:47 p.m., the forest had gone completely silent. No insects, no wind, just that same oppressive stillness. Then, the equipment flickered. Not off, just unstable. The audio feed picked up the same low-frequency hum from before. Reeves looked at the monitor. You hearing that? Turner nodded slowly. It's here. The temperature dropped suddenly. Not gradually, instantly. Bennett's breath became visible. That's not natural. Then the cameras caught something. At first, it looked like distortion, like the image was glitching. But it wasn't random. It had shape, movement, between the trees. Turner stepped forward, flashlight raised. Who's there? No answer. But the hum grew louder. And then, a voice. Not from the equipment, not from the forest, but everywhere at once. You came back. Bennett froze. Did you hear that? Reeves didn't respond. His eyes were fixed on the tree line. Turner, he whispered. Turner followed his gaze, and this time, he saw it clearly. A figure, not fully there, not fully gone, standing between two trees where there should have been empty space. Its shape shifted slightly, like it wasn't meant to be seen directly. But its presence was undeniable. Turner didn't move, didn't speak, because every instinct told him the same thing. This wasn't someone hiding in the forest. This was something that belonged to it. The voice came again, closer now. They listened. Bennett grabbed Turner's arm. We need to go, now. But Turner couldn't look away, because behind the figure, for just a second, he saw something else. 3 smaller shapes, standing still, watching. Then everything cut out. Cameras, audio, lights. Darkness swallowed the clearing. And in that silence, something moved. Darkness didn't fall. It collapsed. 1 second, the clearing was lit by equipment and cold moonlight. The next, everything was gone. No glow, no outlines, no depth, just black. Turner couldn't see his own hands. For a moment, no one moved. No one spoke. The kind of silence that presses against your ears until you're not sure if you've gone deaf. Then, a breath. Not his. Close. Too close. Reeves broke first. Turner, where are you? His voice sounded wrong, like it was being pulled apart before it could fully exist. I'm here, Turner answered, but even he barely heard himself. Bennett grabbed onto his sleeve. Her grip was tight, real, grounding. We need to move, she whispered. Now. But Turner wasn't listening anymore, because the hum, It wasn't coming from the equipment anymore. It was inside his head. Then came the voice, clearer this time, closer. "You see now." Turner's chest tightened. "What are you?" he said into the darkness. No fear in his voice, just control. The kind of control you use when fear would make things worse. A pause. Then, "We don't take them." Bennett froze. "Don't respond," she whispered urgently. But Turner couldn't stop. "Then what do you do?" The answer came instantly. "They come." Reeves cursed under his breath. "This is messed up. This is seriously messed up." The darkness shifted. Not like something moving through it, but like the darkness itself was adjusting. Then images started to break through. Not in front of them, not around them, inside them. Turner saw Emily, standing in the clearing, alone, looking calm, not scared, not struggling, just watching the trees. Then Marcus, walking slowly, like he was following something no one else could see. Then Anna, turning her head, as if someone had just called her name. "They weren't taken," Bennett whispered, her voice shaking. "They walked here." Turner felt it too, that pull, subtle, quiet but undeniable, like something was reaching, not physically, deeper than that. "Make it stop," Reeves said suddenly. "Turner, tell it to stop." But Turner couldn't, because now he understood something that made everything worse. This wasn't force. This wasn't violence. This was invitation. The voice returned. Slower now, almost patient. "They hear us before you do." Turner's jaw tightened. "Why them?" Silence. Then, "Because they listen." The images vanished. The darkness lifted just enough for shapes to return. The outline of trees. The faintest suggestion of space. And the figure was closer now. Much closer. Not across the clearing. Right in front of them. Bennett gasped. Reeves stumbled back. Turner didn't move. He stared directly at it, trying to understand something that didn't follow any rules he knew. "Those children," he said slowly, "they're still here, aren't they?" The figure didn't answer immediately. But behind it, for just a second, those smaller shapes appeared again. Not crying, not trapped. Just standing. Watching. The hum stopped. The air shifted. And then, everything snapped back. Lights flickered on. Cameras rebooted. The forest returned like nothing had happened. Reeves dropped to one knee, breathing hard. What the hell was that? Bennett didn't answer. She was staring at Turner. Because he hadn't moved. Not once. "What did you see?" she asked quietly. Turner blinked slowly. The forest looked normal again. Empty. Silent. But his voice was different now. Lower. Heavier. "They didn't disappear," he said. A pause. "They stayed. It's somewhere deep in the trees." Something was still watching. The morning after the night in the clearing, Blackridge felt normal again. The wind moved through the trees, the sun glinted off the rooftops, and children played in yards as if nothing had ever happened. But inside the command center, Nothing was normal. Turner sat alone in the briefing room, staring at the wall map, the triangle, the clearing, the footprints, the shapes, everything he had witnessed, every inexplicable event, every voice, every image of the children walking between the trees was now locked in his mind. He knew the truth, and he knew the FBI would never allow it to be released. The higher-ups were already calling. Agent Turner, preliminary reports are troubling. Contain this. Do not release information outside official channels. Turner leaned back in his chair. The calm he had maintained for weeks was cracking. Contain what? He asked, voice low. You know what? The voice on the phone replied. File it. Close it. Label it. Unresolved. And move on. No press. No leaks. By noon, Blackridge was being officially cleared. Residents were told the children were missing, but investigations would continue quietly. Media inquiries were deflected. Rumors circulated that the FBI had a lead that required discretion. But Turner knew better. They were not missing in the conventional sense. They could never be found because they had already chosen to stay somewhere else. Detective Bennett confronted him privately. You can't just let this go, she said. Her voice was sharp, trembling with frustration. Turner's eyes were cold. I can't change what they are. I can't change what I saw. Bennett shook her head. Then what do we tell the families? Turner didn't answer immediately. He thought of Emily, Marcus, Anna. He thought of the clearing, the footprints, the shapes between the trees. Finally, he said quietly, Tell them, we did everything we could. That's all anyone can do. Reeves wasn't convinced. This isn't justice. This isn't even reality. Turner looked at him, almost pitying. Reality is bigger than us, Daniel. This, what we saw, it's beyond human understanding. And if the wrong people knew, it would cause panic. Or worse, interference. Bennett's hands trembled. So we hide it? Turner nodded. For now, the public isn't ready. And maybe, neither are we. The clearing was cordoned off. Cameras remained, but no data would be released. Reports were locked in classified files. Soil samples, footprints, audio, everything stored under layers of secrecy. Years later, Turner would occasionally visit the edge of the forest alone. No lights, no cameras, just to remind himself that the children weren't gone, that they had stayed, and that the world would never understand. He left the town quietly, but every time he closed his eyes, he saw them. 3 children, standing in the clearing, calm, unafraid, watching, waiting, listening. And he knew, without doubt, that someone or something was still calling them back. Years passed. Blackridge returned to its quiet rhythms. Children laughed in playgrounds, neighbors waved at each other, and the local police handled mundane disputes. But Turner never returned to normal life. He carried the clearing in his mind like a scar, a truth no one else could see. He rarely spoke of it. When he did, it was only in whispers to Bennett, who had moved on to another case, but never forgot the forest. Reeves had left law enforcement entirely, unwilling to confront something beyond human logic. One night, Turner received a call. Agent Turner, it's time. The voice was unfamiliar, yet it carried the same resonance he had heard in the clearing, the low hum that had seemed alive. He didn't respond verbally. Instead, he drove back to Blackridge, drawn by something he could neither explain nor resist. The forest looked the same at first glance, but as he walked toward the clearing, the air thickened, colder than it should have been, almost tactile. And then he saw them. Emily, Marcus, Anna, older now, but unchanged in their demeanor. Calm, still watching, not frightened, not trapped. They stepped forward, not toward him, but out of the space between the trees, as if the clearing itself was giving them passage. Turner felt an overwhelming sense of clarity, the kind that comes only when reality bends in impossible ways. "They chose this," he whispered. A soft hum filled the air. Not mechanical, not human, alive. "They listen," the voice said again. "They have always listened, and now they understand." Turner realized the truth, the one hidden behind decades of disappearances and official silence. The children had been drawn to a place beyond fear, beyond harm, a realm that humans could not fully comprehend, where the concept of abduction was meaningless. Turner stepped back, the weight of the revelation pressing on him. It was not cruelty. It was not malice. It was protection. The children and countless others from years past were safe in a way no law or human intervention could ever provide. He looked at the clearing one last time, feeling both awe and a profound sorrow. "They are gone from our world, but not lost," he murmured. Bennett had joined him silently. She nodded. No words could capture what they had witnessed. Turner turned away, knowing the FBI would continue to cover up the truth, but he no longer carried anger toward them. Some truths were too vast, too dark, and too beautiful to expose. The forest whispered, carrying its hum into the night. And Turner walked away, leaving the clearing untouched, a sacred place of silence, patience, and the unimaginable protection of the lost. Some truths are too deep for the world to understand. Not all disappearances are tragedies. Sometimes they are mysteries of survival and protection beyond human comprehension. Fear of the unknown cannot override the hidden guardians of innocence. Subscribe to uncover more hidden truths that the world refuses to see before it's too late.